it's Cheryl with Distressed FX, and today I'm going to be doing a multi-app edit. I'm going to be using a photo that has some distracting objects, including a telephone wire and some fence posts. First thing I'm going to do is go into a program called Retouch. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. It's a great little app for getting rid of objects you don't want in an image. I'm going to go to albums and go to all photos and select the image I'm going to be working with today. I was on a drive through the country yesterday and just came across this scene. Okay, at the bottom is a little button called Quick Repair. Basically what that's going to do is select the object and then grab from the area next to it and clone out the offending object, which here is the telephone wire. As you can see, it's going away quickly, and all I'm doing is taking my index finger and painting over the image on the screen. And that's it. Now I'm going to go and zoom in on the image. I want to get rid of those fence posts, and all I'm going to do is take my finger and drag down. It's basically selecting the small area next to the object and cloning it out. I'm going to slide over and get this pull out. And I've got a few more, so bear with me. It doesn't have to be perfect because the texture that we're going to be using is really great for masking things as well. It's one of the beauties of textures is the image itself doesn't have to be perfect because textures basically will cover a lot. So almost done, you guys. I'm kind of inspecting the whole photo to see if there's anything else that is distracting to my eyes, including this cow is kind of intertwined with the pole. I'm actually just gonna get rid of that cow butt too. So, all right, there you have it. I'm gonna look in my background, make sure there's no vehicles next to that house or anything that I don't want in there. I am finding this corner a little bit distracting, just that cut of road. Going to the bottom, finding the little arrow, I'm going to go find my clone stamp, which is in the right corner. This little circle is going to pop up. I'm going to drag it over to some grass. Then I'm going to take my index finger and just moving that little bullseye over grass areas, I'm just going to fill in that road. Just quickly going to go over anything that's just distracting to my eye. And that's it. I'm going to zoom out. And there you have it. Get that over there one more time. Okay. All done. I am going to go up to the top little square with an arrow and save this to my gallery. I said multi-app, so I'm going to now go into Snapseed, which I like to do for minor rotations of images to straighten out my horizon. So I'm going to open my image from all photos. As you can see, that it's sloping just a tiny, tiny bit to the left. So I'm going to go in to rotate, and I'm going to take my finger and drag it on the screen and just straighten out that horizon line just a touch. Hit the check mark, save it, and now I'm going to be going into Distressed FX, where I'll be doing most of my editing and texturing. Okay, go into the app in the top left corner, press the little camera roll, choose from camera roll, go to all photos, and get the image that I just edited. The top right corner, hit done. With the new version of Distressed FX, we have these little suitcases over to the right. The top one, press more. The original overlays that came with the app are there. We also have some bokeh, some light effects, and what's called the heavens, which is selected, and those are cloud overlays. The bottom column is all of your textures. This is a pack called the Naturals. If you hit more, and go to the top, the original textures, that will bring you back to your original textures along with a freebie called Azure Sky. First thing I'm going to do is select a cloud overlay. And the best thing to do is just play with it and see which selection you like the best. And I'm actually going to go with Trance, which I'm really fond of. Just a light floaty cloud scene. Now I'm going to go over to the bottom More button. And the first thing I'm going to select is a pack called Sky Beauty. So you touch the banner. Now the only ones that show up at the bottom are the pack that you're using. You have to bounce back and forth, which once you get the handle of it, goes really fast. I'm going to select a texture called Little Visits. Now you don't have to have the full effect if you don't want. You can tone down the texture. See the little toolbar in the center with the water drop, the bird, and then the sliders? Select the sliders. The bottom slider controls the opacity of the texture. You can bump it down if you want. So I'm just going to go right about there. The top slider controls the top gels or overlays, which would be the cloud, but I want to keep that at full effect. Then do the little check mark and bounce out. Now here you can flatten it. Take your finger, press the screen, hit flatten, and you can add more effects. I am actually going to go back to these little sliders. The bottom center one bumps up the saturation. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. The right one controls brightness. I bump it up just a tiny bit. And the far right one controls the contrast. So I'm going to keep it right there, but bump up my saturation just a little bit, giving that true green colored grass. And then hit the X button. I'm going to press the screen with my finger and flatten it. Now I'm going to go into the birds icon. The top right corner, the little suitcase, press that. This has the original birds from when the app first came out. And underneath that was the pack of birds that we started selling for 99 cents, which they are now free. And we've added 4 new packs with version 2. One of them is trees, which I'm not going to use a tree, but I wanted to show you that if you click the little eyeball icon, it will allow you to see the different textures in each pack, which is really nice, especially before you buy it. You may not like it. You can decide that way. Like, I'll click this one and it'll show you what birds are in each pack. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to select the storybook birds on the bottom, and I'm going to choose trope. And here's the beautiful part. You guys asked and we listened. You can now move the birds around on the screen, and you can also take your index finger and you guys can pinch it down, do a 2-finger pinch and make them smaller. We didn't do the ability to make them super big because we really like to keep things realistic here. Most of the time birds like to hang out in the trees, especially around here in fall. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to slide this off the screen a little bit because I only want a few birds. I'm all about keeping them very, very realistic. And I'm digging that. So I'm going to hit the little check mark. And then I'm going to take my finger, press the screen, and flatten. And you know what? I think I might even see what one more texture looks like. So I'm going to hit the suitcase button on the bottom, More. And I'm going to go down to the Neutrals pack. And there's a texture I really like called Vaughn. I'll go ahead and hit that. It brightens things up and gives it that really yummy painterly look. And I'm going to go ahead and press flatten. And I'm going to call it done. Up in the top left corner is a little square with an up arrow. Press that. I'm going to save this to my camera roll, and I will eventually go put it up on Instagram with along with a link to this video. I wanted to show you one other thing in the information section, the little circle with the eye. Press that. At the top we have our Instagram logo. Please follow us on Instagram, Distressed FX app. Also, our Facebook logo. Please follow us on Facebook. That way you can get updates. Sometimes we'll be doing some contests for free coupon codes and tutorial links. At the bottom, you can access our website. And one of the beautiful things about that is now we have a users gallery. Just take a second to load. Go to the little menu bar on the right, click that, and then you click users gallery. I try to get to Instagram every day and go to the Distressed FX hashtag and find your beautiful artwork, and I will just scroll through each one. I look at every picture and pick ones that either invoke an emotion in me or I just think are artistically beautiful, creative, and they end up here in our users gallery. It's very inspiring. You can support other artists because if you click on the image, it'll take you to their Instagram page. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for future tutorials. And please follow us again on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you very much.